Have you ever wondered why bad things seem to happen to good people, those who live with kindness, integrity, and compassion, yet still face pain, suffering, and loss? It's a question that many of us ask in times of difficulty, and it's not just a modern question. It's been asked for centuries by countless hearts across all cultures and faiths. But today, let's pause for a moment. Let's look at this question through the lens of the Buddha's wisdom and discover how we can find meaning, peace, and growth even in the midst of hardship. Even in suffering, there is light, there is growth, there is liberation. The Buddha once said, "All conditioned things are unsatisfactory. They are subject to change. Understanding this brings wisdom." From the very foundation of his teachings, the Buddha revealed a profound truth. Suffering, or dukkha, is universal. It's not something that only happens to certain people. It doesn't skip over the kind-hearted. It doesn't avoid those who do good deeds. Even the Buddha himself, the awakened one, experienced physical pain, betrayal, loss, and sorrow over the suffering of others. In fact, it was through his personal experiences with suffering that he found the path to enlightenment. Suffering is not a punishment, nor is it a sign that goodness has failed. It is simply the nature of life. It is a wave that rises and falls, touching everyone, regardless of how good or virtuous they are. Life is full of uncertainties. Good things come and go. Bad things come and go. And in the end, it's all part of the dance of impermanence. Now, you might ask, what about karma? Doesn't good bring good? Yes, karma does bring consequences to our actions, but it's not always in the way we expect or within the time frame we wish for. In Buddhism, karma is the natural law of cause and effect. But it's important to understand that karma does not work like instant justice, where good things immediately happen to good people and bad things happen only to those who deserve it. Karma unfolds over time, sometimes even across many lifetimes. Good people plant seeds of positive karma with every selfless act, every act of kindness. But they may still face challenges and hardships because of past actions, or even because of actions in other lifetimes. The Buddha once said, "Do not think lightly of good, saying, 'It will not come to me.' Drop by drop is the water pot filled." Likewise, the wise one, gathering little by little, fills oneself with good. What this teaches us is that good actions, however small they may seem, accumulate over time. So, even when we can't immediately see the fruits of our kindness, know that the seeds we plant today will bear fruit in the future. And when hardship arises, it is simply the unfolding of past causes and conditions. It doesn't mean we've done anything wrong. It just means that the natural law of karma is at work, and we must trust that everything has a purpose, even when it's unclear. But here's where things get truly profound. In Buddhist wisdom, suffering is not the end. It is the beginning of something greater. The Buddha once said, "Suffering is the beginning of awakening." Suffering, in Buddhist thought, is not something to avoid at all costs, but a doorway to awakening, a catalyst for transformation. Let me share a story to illustrate this. There was once a woman named Kisa Gotami. She had a beloved son, but one day the child died unexpectedly. Overcome with grief, she went to every doctor she could find, begging for a cure, but no one could help her. In her desperation, she heard of a wise teacher, the Buddha. She went to him and asked him if he could bring her child back to life. The Buddha replied, "Bring me a mustard seed from a house that has never known death." Kisa Gotami, desperate to find a cure, went from house to house, asking for a mustard seed. But in every house, there was grief. Every household had known loss. It was only then that she realized the truth. Suffering touches everyone. She returned to the Buddha, and through her sorrow she came to understand that death, loss, and suffering are part of life. Her grief was not unique, nor was it a curse. It was part of the shared human experience. In that moment, Kisa Gotami awakened. Her suffering became the soil in which wisdom and compassion grew. This story teaches us that pain is not a punishment. It's an invitation to awaken, to open our hearts, deepen our understanding, and cultivate compassion for ourselves and others. One of the reasons suffering feels so intense is because we often cling to the idea of fairness, that life should be fair, and that good things should always happen to good people. But in Buddhist thought, clinging to the idea of fairness only leads to more suffering. Life is not fair in the way we wish it to be. Life is complex, and suffering is part of its fabric. The Buddha taught that peace comes not by demanding fairness, but by releasing our attachment to the idea of fairness. We don't need to understand why things happen or why we suffer. Instead, we can focus on how we respond to suffering. Buddhist wisdom invites us to shift our question from "why me?" to "what can I learn from this? How can I respond wisely and with compassion?" This shift in perspective brings freedom. We stop blaming life for being unfair and instead focus on transforming our suffering into wisdom. I want to remind you of something important today. Even when good people face hardship, their goodness is never in vain. Every act of kindness, every gesture of compassion, every moment of patience and understanding, these actions leave ripples. They may not always be visible, but they are real. In fact, positive karma doesn't just bring rewards in the future. It transforms us even in the present. It strengthens our hearts. It cultivates peace, resilience, and wisdom that no storm can shake. The Buddha's path is not about avoiding pain. It's about transforming pain into wisdom, compassion, and liberation. So, keep doing good, not because it guarantees an easy life, but because it shapes you into the person you were meant to be. If you're walking through hardship right now, remember, you are not alone. Even the great sages, the awakened ones, walked through their own pain before finding freedom. Allow your suffering to be your teacher, transform it into wisdom, and keep walking the path of kindness, because every step you take, you plant seeds that no storm can destroy. The Buddha said, just as a lotus blooms unsoiled in the muddy water, so too can we rise above suffering and bloom in wisdom. So, let yourself bloom. Let your goodness bloom, even in the mud. If this wisdom has spoken to your heart, I invite you to subscribe and join us on this journey of reflection and growth. Let's keep walking the path of understanding, compassion, and peace together.